Hey, this is Current.Gneiss. For this extra episode, I ended up recording things back when I was making the episode, like basically once weekly. I was like doing a little progress update. And then at the end of this episode, or the end of the episode, I guess, I went around and reset the world and just talked about some things that I ended up just cutting out of the actual episode. I'm putting all of that together, and maybe I'll add a little bit more at the end, but yes, there is one thing to say. I had a cold that I was trying to work around and record around with, like, making sure my voice is consistent, and it's still not totally recovered now. But I also had some audio issues, so the first part of this is not going to sound, it sounds fine. It just doesn't sound normal. It just has a different mic that my computer decided to start using randomly. Hey, Nice here. I often get asked how long it takes me to make these videos that I do and what is kind of my process for all of that. And this is going to be my attempt to answer that. I am currently starting on what I would call the production process, or I've started going into full production on the iron ore episode. I think it's going to be one of the larger geology episodes that I do. So I'm just going to share with you the process. I'm going to record some clips as I go through different stages. On the topic of time, it depends a lot on some of these videos. A lot of the color theory videos I can tend to make, in a week or even a weekend. And normally those are when I take breaks or just when I have a good amount of free time that I can just dedicate to something. The geology episodes, I usually have a long process of I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I kind of know what visuals I want to do in the video, and I maybe have a concept of technically how I can accomplish those visuals. So let's talk about the iron ore episode. So currently it's November 8th, and I'm kind of going into the production mode of the iron ore episode. And for me, what that means is that I've actually been thinking about this episode for years, and I've had a document that I just kind of update, and then when I think of something, I'll throw something in there. Some of it's little things that will actually end up in the final script. Other things are just notes on how iron ore is generating, what things I want to show in the video. Let's see, some actual visuals and things. Yeah, some notes. It's kind of a disorganized mess because normally I just add this stuff into my phone when I'm walking around places or I think of it, and so I don't really pay that much attention to it. So I'll just start typing more notes in a random spot, and then it's very disorganized. So normally what I start with is something like this, and I go through and at least try to organize this and remind myself of everything that I'm trying to do, and then I start making the actual list of visuals that I'm going to make and start making those. And normally when I make my videos, I work from the visuals backwards, so to the final product. So I know kind of what I want to talk about. I make a display or an animation, and then I write the script after that point. So I know kind of what I want to say, but I know I'm a very visual person. If you couldn't tell, I like to do a lot of things visually. So I work from the final visual product to the recording. So 1.20.5 broke the old geology world, and I'm not really considering updating it, fixing all the problems with it. A lot of the functions that I wrote broke because of how they changed things. And I could go through and fix all that stuff, but I'm already going to be redoing a bunch of stuff already. The geologic timeline, I'm redoing that entirely. And that's a whole separate thing. So this part of it's going to be entirely redone in a different world probably. And I think I will probably have that as a standalone world. And then the other things, the exhibits that are normally alongside of it, I forget what that was. I'll have to go sediment and what is stone. And all of that stuff will probably be their own standalone worlds. But for the ore, let's go out here. I'm in 1.20.4 right now. This is the last version that actually worked. So this is the location that I used for the ore episode, and I had thought about reusing this whole thing and the display and everything for like the specific ores, but I don't know. This has some limitations. For one thing, let me actually get rid of the stone, and let me get rid of a bunch of stuff, then we'll be back. Okay, so this is the old ore episode or ore hole. This is the same hole that I use for caves and talking about other things too. But I'm going to be talking about each ore specifically, and so what I want to do is have a better way to showcase some of that. And this isn't a mountainous area. I mean, there is some mountain here, but this isn't like very tall mountains. And I would like a tall mountain because you can talk a little bit more about distribution. I would like to do a bigger area so it's actually more representative of the Minecraft distribution. And I want to make it in a custom world without caves, so that like a lot of this area, if we removed all this and put like filled in with caves with something, a lot of this area has like a bunch of caves through it, and ore does not generate in those caves, and so that skews like your numbers. So I want to find a new world that I can have dedicated for an ore world and do all of those videos in there. And so to find the new world, I went through and looked at some random seeds on Chunkbase, and I have some that I have tried out or I wanted to look at. And one of these, this one is the one that I have selected. So let's make a world and I'll show you. So right near spawn in this world, I'm still like less than 1,000 blocks away. We start getting to some really good mountain ranges. And I want a mountainous area because ore generates differently up high. You have emerald, coal, and iron all generating up very high. So here's some higher mountains. We are currently at Y. Yeah, so this is build height. So we have mountains that go all the way up to build height, but that's not it. We have this section right over here, and these are super cool. So to test some things out, I also I wrote a data pack to do some custom world gen that gets rid of all the caves, that gets rid of the amethyst, that gets rid of like everything we don't need. So it's going to be entirely solid earth like below us, so we can look at the actual distribution of ore and everything here. What a cool mountain range. I think on this side over here, it drops down to sea level. So you have like sea level up to build height, like just like within like a few blocks. Crazy. It looks pretty cool. It looks like it's not. It looks like it should be taller. I actually want to climb up there. I'm just going to walk. So the intent is for this world that I'm going to probably remove, like through animation, remove all of the snow and everything so we can just look at the stone and the ore distribution in it. And then I'm going to do some things. And I kind of have it worked out how I'm actually going to do it with like a visual, because like I guess I don't need to really like withhold any spoilers here because you guys, I'm going to release this video after the other one's out. So I'm going to be, the current plan, we'll see if that changes. The current plan is to use this mountain over here. And I'm going to remove all of the dirt and the vegetation and the snow and everything from the mountain. And then I'm going to animate the mountain so it like comes up out of the ground. I haven't figured out if I'm going to do it all at once or like piece by piece. It's too big, or there's too many blocks to do like the animation like I did last time. And I want to be able to look at the mountain free from everything else. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up building a platform relatively close, maybe close to this mountain. I'm not really sure. And then, so the mountain's going to like rise up into the air, and that's all going to be done with probably custom
display entities. This world's going to need a resource pack to do various things. But then it's going to shrink down, and then it will be on a little small platform, so the player can actually walk around and see like that chunk or that slice of the world. And I think it's going to be 16 by 16 chunks, like that fits this mountain. The old ore world was like 4 by 4 chunks, I believe. And then I'm going to be able to like get rid of everything except just the iron ore, and then look at the iron ore and stuff. But so that's the plan. All right, so I'll probably check in next once I have some visuals done and maybe that document like reorganized.
All right, update. It is November 16th, and I've worked a little bit on this, mostly in the evenings and everything. So I just want to give you an update of like where I'm at right now. I have some things I'm testing out, a bunch of command blocks everywhere. All right, so I have some functions written that I'm probably going to use in the end. There is this mountain clean, and it will remove all of the. Oh, sorry. It will remove all of the wood and grass and snow and dirt and all of that stuff. So then we're basically down to the bare rock. The world gen still has the lenses. They're called ore for some reason, but like the dirt and the gravel and all the other stuff. I don't see any. I see granite down there. I don't see granite up here. But anyway, so now you can see a lot of the iron ore exposed up here. You have a lot more iron exposed up at the top. And then there are a couple functions. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to actually do it in the final episode. I'm battling with limitations of Minecraft and what like looks the coolest. All right, so what I want to do is I want to move this mountain, and I want to move it up. So we're going to. It might take a bit. Is it going to work? Yeah. So moving the mountain up. And you can see there's no caves or anything like that, like in here. I'm probably going to be standing back here during the episode. And the mountain's not getting deleted. So the original mountain should be being deleted right now for some reason. I'm not sure why. Something's happening. Here, I can change this to minimum brightness. That way things look correctly. I don't have the brightness set on this. This is surprise spoilers. This is an entity. This is a single entity right here. This entire mountain I have loaded in as a single entity. So not individual blocks, but the entire mountain is a single Minecraft entity. And what's happening, why it's chugging so much, is that we're deleting the world layer by layer underneath here. And the mountain is rising up at the same time. I think what I'm going to have to do in the video is I'm going to have to summon the mountain in, and then I'm going to have to delete the real blocks behind it and just like, let it process and say don't do anything, and I'll just edit that spot out, but not really try to hide it, but just say like things are happening. Wow, yeah. Let's look at the yeah. So on the other computer that I'm running this on is a bit of a better computer than the one I actually record on. The one I'm actually running upstairs, I have an i9 and a 4000 series GPU. What I want is that have it shrink down, go up in the sky, and then shrink down and move over here. So this is all of the ore. I might need to make it a little bit bigger so you can actually make out what it is. But that is the actual ore distribution. And so you have and iron ore generates in 3 different batches. So there is the first batch, which is the top layer. These are not in the right spot right now, but this is the top layer of ore that generates above a certain Y level. This is the middle iron ore section. You have these big blobs. And then the last stage is what is this tag using? Mountain 2. And the last tag, this is at the bottom, but these like tiny little iron ore like bits. And so I want to look at those independently. So I'll have a button where I hit and then it goes through like each one of those. And so I'm going to talk about iron ore distribution and all that stuff. And then there is a command to refill this, and I'm really curious how this runs right now. Replace everything. I'm curious if I have other things. I don't really have a lot of other things running on this computer. But this is replacing every like chunk that I've deleted out, basically. So it resets the world. And I'm probably going to use this hole for the other ore episodes. I don't know if I said that, but that's why I want to have it like able to be filled in again, because it's going to come up and I'll need to like reset it like many times. Big thanks to Stoopy for giving me the code that does this. I was going to have to like do it all by hand. This hole is 4 times the size of the old ore chunk that I did. All right. So, and then there is one more place that iron gets spawned at, and that is in those ore veins, the large ones, like in the tuff. And so again, I changed World Gen to spawn this area, but no caves and no iron ore. But I turned the veins back on, specifically the iron ore. I guess I turned both of them on, but it doesn't really matter. So all that's here is the iron ore, and I excavated everything else around it. And hi chickens. And so my intent is that I'm going to open up this hole from up top here, and then I'm going to animate the vein rising up. I'm probably going to do that block by block, like my normal like block flying animation, and come up, and then it will probably shrink down, and then we'll look at it like in a small area. So I'll have like a little platform here, and then we can walk around the vein and talk about that. And then that's going to be, I think, the end of talking about iron ore in Minecraft, and then we're going to start talking about iron ore in real life. And yeah, at the end, we'll talk about iron ore back in Minecraft again. But all right, that's where I'm at right now. I'll probably do another video maybe next weekend, or if I make major progress sometime between then. Okay, so welcome back. It's been about 2 weeks since the last time I was out of week last weekend, and this weekend was Thanksgiving, and so just been busy with stuff, but I've made a lot of progress. This is a bit weird because you're going to see this before I'm recording this before I've made the video, but you've seen the video already. But so there's the section at the beginning of the video where I talk about how useful iron is in Minecraft and in real life. But there's this section here. So these are all display entities, and this is a text entity. Maybe I should offset that so it doesn't have Z fighting. It's really not that noticeable from back here. But and then I have all of this working. And then from there, we're going to talk about the mountain. And I've made some improvements on here, I think, from what I did last time. I need to put some labels on these note blocks, but this should clear everything. No, it doesn't. All right, so this works, and everything cleans off, and so that we're just left with rock. And then I fixed the code a little bit. I'm still real curious how rough it runs if I do this. We're going to turn on the wall of red. Yeah, so I'm going to wait here for this to process. I don't have a better way to do this, not that I can know of, or not that I know of at least. But it will tell us at the end that we're ready to go on to the next step. It is a little bit faster than it was last time, but Let me turn off all the F3. So I had that data man count over there on the right-hand side, and that's basically counting up from the bottom of the world up. And so once we get to like 170, I think, if you count, we're starting from like -64, so we're going up. Oh, here it goes. Oh, wait, it didn't load the thing. Oh, there it goes. It just takes time. I will have to maybe edit that out or something. On my PC upstairs, I do a lot of this work on. It loads before, but once having like, so this is a single display entity. This mountain now, you can see it being deleted up there. The real blocks are being deleted, and this is just a display entity. You can see them actually being deleted, going up, getting faster and faster because it's dealing with less blocks. All right, so now we have this hole here, but we have one giant custom model block basically displayed there. And so now, yeah, it said that we're ready. And now if I hit this more time, it starts to move. And then I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to say. I have some things to say, I guess, when this is going up. You will have known what I'm going to say. So we'll see how this looks. It looks a little bit rough sometimes because it gets up here and it stops. You can see the big hole. Talk about, you know, they didn't have any caves or anything. Apparently there's a piece of water that's falling. All right, and then this will shrink. And then this will bring it over to here. And there we go. So then that's all set. And now let me make sure this is, yeah, this is on note 1 still. All right, so I'm trying to remember. I think this brings up my board in the back. So we have our Z height here. And we can get rid of all of the rock and just leave the iron ore. And then this is also a custom model. Technically, this is 3 custom models that I'm loaded in. So I loaded in each of the ore generation as its own like model. So we can get rid of the bottom 2 and only have the top. And we can load the middle and the bottom. And then I think I can get rid of this and load in one model that is all of them. And then I shrink this down up against the backboard. And then I have to hit it again. And then I shrink it the other direction, and then I have a histogram grown out of that. And so these are all text entities. The blocks are still technically there. I don't think they're deleted yet. But this shows your ore distribution. And then I did calculate like percentage based, like if it was all air, or if the air was blocks instead of like if it was just like a solid thing going up. And that's what you get here. So that's just stretching out those upper ones to that. And then that's it. So that's that part done. If I do this, this loads in. This fills in the hole. Let's go over to the other section then. So then over here, I have the section talking about iron ore, or iron vein. And if we click on this, then the world opens up and we get to see the iron ore vein down there. All the flowers falling. I do have a line in the function file at the end that deletes all the items that have fallen down there, because I think that, like, how many entities do we have now? 17,000? 1,700? Yeah, and then we just deleted them, so now we're down to like only a couple hundred. But yeah, so those are real blocks like down there. But then if I hit the button here, then they get deleted and summon entities and then fly up to the top. And then if I stand like right here, you really can't tell what's happening until like it goes in front of the note block too much. But so then it all shrinks down and flies over. to be in front of here. And let's see. And then we hit it again. I might need to stand at a different spot so you can see it transition, or maybe I need to move that note block or something. But we just get rid of all of the tuff, and just so you can see the sheer amount of iron that's like present in these veins. And then I think, oh yeah, and then the amount of iron that is present in this, if you mined it with Fortune 3, would give you like X number of blocks. And then that all get deletes. And I think then something went wrong. What are you doing? This is going to teleport everything again. How come it didn't close? Well, we get to see it again. I'll have to check that out. I'm not exactly sure why that's not working here. But anyway, this will close in like on the sides. And then over here, we go to the world that has all of Earth's iron ore as of last year. That was mined last year. I can load it all in and everything. But so this is in the custom dimension here. I think I showed this in the video, or I plan to show it in the video. But I also increased the world gen height so you can actually see what these mountains look like if they weren't like clamped off at 256. They don't really go that much higher. But these I didn't copy over. These weren't generated with the higher cap, but really cool. They look pretty interesting. All right, so computer's struggling here. Let's go down and then okay. And then is it this one? Percent. Yes. Hi, Rabbit. You come over to learn about iron. And so this just summons a falling block up there, and then at times putting a text display on it. I think I need to reduce, like, spawn it in closer. I didn't want it like spawn in anybody's vision, so they spawn in like kind of far up there. But yeah, I'll just go through like the rest of these, and then the big one. I thought about trying to do this like colored on there, but it would have taken like way too long, or maybe made this into a cube or something. But I ended up just doing it like this. I think this looks all right. And then that deletes it. And then does this take us back? Yes. All right. And then, so this is kind of where we're at with the stromatolite. So this is the exhibit, how it is right now. I'm working on this on an offline version, but this is the online version of the timeline, because we are all working together. Some of us over on the Discord are contributing to all of this. So what I need to do is actually replace like all of these, because these should be full blocks. Which I don't know if I'm going to be doing. Yeah, this is the. So this is the, I guess, working model. I have a version. I'll have an offline version that I will end up doing the recording on. But this is the most current, up to date thing, except for when I do things with the data pack, and then it's just easier to do it locally. Oh, and I did this biome. This biome has snowflakes as a particle, similar to how Basalt Delta has ash. So it's not actually snowing here. It's just the snow particle is here, which is great because you can also control like how dense the snow actually is and everything. But anyway, so that is the state. I'm currently working on the stromatolite display, and hopefully to have that done either today or tomorrow. And then I think that's the last thing I have to do before recording the episode, at least in game. I have some other real life stuff to do. I have a couple cubes of iron to cut and things like that. But for the most part, I think everything's done. I'll have to go back through my script and make sure that I have visuals for all the stuff I want to do. But yeah, I'm excited to get this done. I really want to get it done before, well, I'd like to get this and another video out before the end of the year. And it is currently November 30th. So, November 30th. But, all right, I have a couple other things I need to do in Minecraft and also in real life for all of that stuff too. But I'll see you with the next update. Okay, Extra.Gneiss again. I did not record another update. I finished the Stromatolite display, and I basically went right into recording and doing all of that stuff. But I'm pretty happy with how the episode... Sorry, I am very happy with how the episode turned out. I'm very happy with how the episode was received. There are a few things that I would have changed and other things that I would have talked about more. I mentioned the Great Iron Catastrophe. I cut a section out of that, like even when I was working in the script, because I was like, this is kind of in the weeds and I don't really need to talk about it. So I'm actually going to be doing an iron episode, not an iron ore episode, but an episode just on iron at some point. Future nice problems. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk for longer about the episode, longer than the actual episode was. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.